Hello and welcome to the jury round of the Financial Advisor Awards 2015-16 presented by UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV18. Now, the mutual fund industry in India has been one of the fastest growing and the most competitive segments of the country's financial sector. And the Financial Advisor Awards recognizes the best of the best in the Indian financial community. Independent financial advisors act as a catalyst in the evolution of the Indian financial market, working tirelessly to help create and manage wealth for the Indian investor, giving them wise investment plans, sound advice and product recommendations. Over the years, through the Financial Advisor Awards and the forums, UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV18 have reached out to industry stalwarts and independent financial advisors across major cities in India to discuss the opportunities and challenges faced by them, how they can increase their customer base, provide better service to their clients and adapt to newer, ever-evolving technology. This year, as a run-up to the awards, the Financial Advisor Forums travelled to 4 major metropolitan cities to understand and address the changing dynamics of the financial sector and investor sentiments. The process of screening candidates across 28 categories for the Financial Advisor Awards 2015-16 kick-started in the financial hub of the country, Mumbai. Through rigorous rounds of presentations and grueling question-answer sessions with over 50 hopeful candidates, an esteemed panel of 12 jurors determined the outcome of the selection process. On the panel were N.K. Prasad, President and CEO, CAMS; Karthik Rajendran, Junior Partner, McKinsey & Company; Karthik Srinivasan, Senior Vice President, Co-Head Financial Sector Ratings, ICRA; Ranjit Mudholkar, Vice Chairman and CEO, FPSB India; Prasad Lad, Junior Partner, McKinsey & Company; Kalpesh Gada, Senior Vice President, Head Structured Finance, ICRA; Ashish Chauhan, MD and CEO, BSE; Suparna Biswas, Junior Partner, McKinsey & Company; Vibhor Mittal, Assistant Vice President, ICRA; S. Mahalingam, former CFO, TCS; Sameer Shetty, Partner, McKinsey & Company; and L. Shivkumar, Executive Vice President, ICRA.
India is one of the largest savers in the world with 30-35% of savings, but most of it doesn't come into the financial instruments. It goes into gold, silver, real estate and so on and so forth. In some sense, formal finance has not reached out to the masses in nooks and corners of the country.
Only about 2% of people in India use mutual funds, which is fairly low compared to where any market in the world actually is. Given that, it's absolutely important that distributors get encouraged. In this context, these awards are very important because they give the right kind of recognition. It's a platform where some of the best advisors in the country come together.
There are thousands of advisors out there. For the most part, a lot of them are individual advisors as opposed to the more professional bodies, which is obviously fewer in number. And a platform such as this actually gives them recognition. It gives them a national scale in which to come and get that recognition, as well as a platform, I think, for informal networking between themselves.
CNBC TV18 and UTI, the two names which are closely associated with this, are both associated with trust and faith, and this is a profession which is basically centered on trust and faith. That is the center pillar of the advisory profession.
It gives the financial advisors an opportunity or a platform to distinguish themselves from the others, to bring a level of recognition to their services, and in turn it helps their clients in making an informed choice. So to that extent, it is it's a very important award, I would think.
As far as the investors are concerned, this, I think, to a large extent gives them a kind of view into who are the people who are doing extremely well, and increasingly people are essentially resorting to investing in an appropriate manner. It's not being done by gut feeling and so on. They want research. They want to ensure that there is a process of advisory sessions that they can go through.
3 years back or 5 years back, the advisor was primarily a distributor who would take products to customers and sell products to customers. I think given changing customer preferences, changing technology requirements and changing regulatory environment, the role of the advisor is now becoming far sharper and far more critical.
One of the things we used to keep talking about is mis-selling, particularly, are you trying to sell what remunerates you more than what, a customer really desires or customer should have or ought to have. I think there is a great deal of trust on that area, and most firms are trying to ensure that there is an institutional advice which is consistently given, rather than an individual jumping the gun and giving a certain advice.
The way the industry has been developing, I think the intermediaries have really taken advantage of technology to a great extent, customer centricity, and sustainable and credible intermediation models. And those are the successful intermediaries that we see.
In terms of an overall level, financial literacy is still on the lower side. Financial savings as a country, though improving, is still a long way to go. So from a business potential, yes, there is a huge scope and a lot more has to be done. So I guess that's the opportunity landscape which is keeping all the players interested.
After the break, 12 eminent jurors put the candidates for the Financial Advisor Awards 2015-16 through a rigorous process of screening and evaluations across 28 categories. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, the Financial Advisor Awards have been instituted to honor and recognize some of the best financial advisors in India. For this year's awards, an esteemed panel of 12 jurors assessed over 50 hopeful candidates across various categories for the awards. Let's take a look. The Financial Advisor Awards 2015-16 were spread across 28 categories. The top 3 candidates were shortlisted in each category from across the country and were assessed along quantitative and qualitative parameters by the esteemed jury in the following categories. Best Performing Individual Financial Advisor Tier 2 cities, North, East, West and South. Best Performing Individual Financial Advisor Tier 2 Upcountry, North, East, West and South. Best Performing Individual Financial Advisor Mega Cities, North, East, West and South. Best Performing National Individual Financial Advisor. Best Performing National Individual Financial Advisor Women. Best Performing Regional Financial Advisor North, East, West and South. Best Performing National Financial Advisor Equity Broker, Retail, Institutional and Wealth Distributor. Best Performing Financial Advisor NRI. Best Performing Bank Private and Foreign. Grand Jury Award for Financial and Educational Inclusion, Institution and Individual. Grand Jury Award for National Financial Advisor for work done online. For the final jury screening, the 12 jury members were divided into 4 rooms and each set of jurors were assigned specific categories to judge.
We had a predefined list of parameters on which we had to judge the various participants. So they were a mix of both quantitative parameters as well as qualitative parameters. So quantitative parameters would include things like how many clients they have, what is the AUM, what kind of revenues they are making.
I think the qualitative ones were the real differentiators, right? Business model and the way they are going to adopt to the regulatory and technology changes was a key parameter. Is this going to be sustainable? What are they doing the right thing? The other big thing was how are they looking at customer satisfaction? This industry has traditionally been blamed for mis-selling. All of them spoke about solutions where they're going to not only just one thing is going from mis-selling to having the customer happy to a point where they are extremely satisfied, right? And everybody is pushing towards that, right? And the players, I think, which we ended up winning across categories had a very common theme of saying how they're going to move towards making customers extremely engaged and satisfied.
To me, what was very important as I was looking at many of these categories was it an important division as far as that bank or the institution is concerned. The second one is that the passion with which the people who are running it were describing the kind of approach that they do. The third one was really the roadmap that they had laid out as to what they have got to be doing in future and how they are. And then the fourth is really the result. What is the outcome that is really happening? Are they increasing their business? And not just in terms of the overall asset under management, but also in terms of the number of customers, number of folios and those kinds of things. So it is scale, quality, technology. These are the kinds of different things that I was looking at. I think one of the criteria that really came in was the education segment, where people essentially talked about going to schools, even looking at younger people and talking about the kind of investment that can be done, the different asset classes and many of those kinds of things. So that grows the market, which is really the creation of a very vibrant ecosystem for the purpose of taking this further. So all these things combined, I think, make it an interesting award.
I was looking forward to looking at what is the customer retention level and what is the customer engagement level, because that's the most important thing for this industry.
We saw people across a whole spectrum. We saw people who were driving inclusion in the Northeast, for instance, right, where they are reaching out to lakhs and lakhs of investors who are investing very small amounts, maybe 30,000, 40,000 rupees. On the other extreme, we saw people who were doing very, very advanced quantitative analytics, robo-advisory and leveraging technology like that to service really high-end investors as well. And I thought it was quite fascinating to see that a country like India can provide such a dramatic spectrum of advisory platforms in the first place.
Barring technical aspects, which are very vital, I think as compared to the previous years, I think the technical aspects has been excellent, but more important than that is the enthusiasm for the award. And for this, I am sure I must compliment CNBC for doing an excellent job.
The fact that you had 38,000 applicants and you had to cull out a few out of that, I think that has been a humongous task. And very well done. ICRA and CNBC both deserve applause for doing a great job in culling out some of the best people, some of the best companies in the field we have.
After the break, we speak to some of the candidates nominated for this year's awards. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching a special on the jury evaluations for the Financial Advisor Awards 2015-16. Now, as the jury's assessments of the nominees for this season's awards concluded, we spoke to some of the candidates. UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV 18's Financial Advisor Awards has seen growing popularity, with this year seeing a record number of over 38,000 applications, with nominations coming in from the major metropolitan cities, Tier 2 and 3 cities and smaller towns.
There are a lot of women advisors we know who are professionals. I mean, good. There are so many people. Give me a unique proposition why you should be selected as the best women advisor in the country.
I don't know what the others do or what I do differently. It's just that I'm quite sure that what I do, I'm doing right. From being a relationship manager, investment advisor to becoming regional head, you were just losing focus and being in touch with clients. So I wanted to get back to in touch with clients, and that's how my career was given birth.
ICRA, the knowledge partners for the Financial Advisor Awards, analyzed and evaluated all the nominations through multiple layers of filtering suitably designed for the respective categories, and shortlisted over 50 potential candidates across 28 categories for the jury to screen.
The entire screening process, the pre-screening, then the screening and the jury round is something, though I'm part of the process in some manner, but I still have great admiration and respect for that. At the first level, the entire team going out, on the field trying to get the nominations done is a huge challenge, because 38,000 is not a small number, and some of it gets filled online, some gets manually filled, many of these have to be followed up. It's a huge task. And then pre-screening, we have algo, where we look at certain parameters like infrastructure, business performance, etc., to arrive at a short list, which is a fairly tested out, robust mechanism. And then the jury round. Jury round is a tremendous platform where the idea is to evaluate them. The idea is to evaluate the best and give them an award. But what is a lot more interesting is these people coming over, sharing their thoughts with the jury in terms of what they do to remain ahead of the competition, is an enlightening process for us, though we are evaluating them as part of the jury. And also, I would imagine a great process for them to come and share these information. So it's really a very, very well-evolved, enlightening process for all concerned.
See, our country has been always a high savings rate country, and so it's basically the evolution of a very useful product like mutual funds, open-end mutual funds, which have really created a platform to convert this country of savers into a country of investors. And we as financial advisors have a very responsible role to play in this, being able to educate the customers, make them understand their needs, financial needs, and make them understand the products, and try and match them through a proper asset allocation, and to ensure that they do get a sense of prosperity, which is the ultimate source of happiness, I think
it's a very interactive session where you get to showcase what you have done for your customers, how technology is reshaping the world of advisory, how clients have benefited from this experience, and showcasing this to our jury members who are very eminent, and kind of having cross questioning from them sometimes helps you build conviction on what you're doing. And at the same time, gives you ideas of what more can be done, because I think it's a good two-way interaction, and I think it's a great experience to be here every year.
We are extremely honored to be part of this awards, because this is like the Oscars of Financial Advisor Awards, and I would say more than that, we've seen a very dynamic regulatory environment in the last 5-6 years, and in that to recognize the advisors who are really doing a good job, I think is really notable. And I think that is what we like about these awards, because they also highlight the kind of hardships the advisors had to face in the environment. So I think it's the best, I would say, in terms of advisor. There are a lot of awards happening by the product manufacturer, but this is truly the industry awards. It truly represents the industry, in terms of awards.
Given the reputation of the platform hosting the awards, I think it adds a lot of credibility to us as well.
Many people go for short-term gratification and they get it. But people like us who are looking for long-term, the award like this is big, support to our conviction. Yes, you can go on this model. This is the right way.
Overall, the presentations were very informative. So there are a lot of things that I also got to learn, listening to the participants, some things that I was able to learn from my co-jury members as well. So that way, a lot of in it for me as well. And what we found was that a lot of hard work actually goes in doing the financial advisory business.
The manner in which they present themselves tells us a lot about what is really key to them, what is most important to them, and so on. So I was quite keen to hear them out. What is it that is most important to them?
My expectation was to really understand the process that was being adopted by the conveners of this event, CNBC 18 of course, and ICRA and UTI Mutual Fund. And I was quite impressed with the methodology that has been explained and the process that has been followed. And I was also looking forward to interacting with the intermediaries who are so important for our industry in terms of understanding their business focus, their current ways of serving the customers, and the plans that they have in terms of building the business over a period of time. So it was very insightful.
One thing which was pretty interesting and heartening to note was that advisory business, whether it's for distributors or advisors, things have been pretty tough over the last couple of years. So at the back of my mind, I was possibly expecting some of them to crib and say how challenging the environment and the regulatory changes have been. It's quite heartening to note that people though a bit nervous on the regulations which are yet to come, but by and large they were pretty okay with the changes in regulations, and the focus was clearly on the improvement and the client interaction and what's good for the client.
The stage is all set as the final jury deliberations and evaluations of the candidates for the Financial Advisor Awards 2015-16 come to a close. Do stay tuned to the channel as we bring you the Financial Advisor Awards 2015-16 presented by UTI Mutual Fund and CNBC TV 18. Many thanks for watching.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.